Kia ora and hello, I'm meteorologist Chester Lampkin for Earth Sciences New Zealand. This video recorded on Monday morning, the 19th of January, and this is a week where you're going to want to keep an eye on the weather. Whether you are back to work or you're still on holiday, significant impacts possible for New Zealand, Aotearoa, as an area of low pressure is forming right now in the Coral Sea. It is expected to move south and east and move into New Zealand. So let me show you the map first, okay? This is a global computer model. I'm going to show you two of those. This one is from the GFS, the Global Forecast Systems model, better known as the American model. And it shows the area of low pressure. Follow me here on the map. There's my cursor showing that low right there in the Coral Sea. Okay, now here's Australia, and then here's New Zealand. I want to point out that Australia, monitoring this situation, they've already put a forecast out, and the forecast declares that there's about a moderate chance, a 20 to 50% chance that this system could turn into a tropical cyclone sometime Monday afternoon, Monday night, or into Tuesday. So the video that we're recording today, just keep that in mind, the timeline. We are going to be watching this as it develops over the next few days. We'll likely put out more information about this tropical cyclone or potential TC as it moves towards New Zealand. I'm going to roll the map forward. I want to stop here on Tuesday morning, and while we do have this tropical low here, notice we also have another area of low pressure in the Tasman that is spinning up, and that's going to promote an easterly wind flow. That's going to bring potentially some heavy rain to Northland and other parts of the North Island. Primarily Northland's where we're most concerned. Again, our friends at Metservice are keeping an eye on this as well. Potential for heavy rain in the east of the North Island. That is not good news considering the flooding that we had over the past weekend. So something to bear in mind in the North Island. Keep an eye on the weather, not just later this week, but before this tropical cyclone or XTC makes it to New Zealand. So this is Tuesday morning. There's the XTC there. There's our other low pressure center. We continue to move forward, and you can see the low developing here on the model. This is around midnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we'll push it all the way into Wednesday afternoon and evening. And by then, you see the potential for heavy rain moving into New Zealand with the potential tropical cyclone. If not, at the very least, a strong area of low pressure. We're getting a little bit of a squeeze as well. We're getting an strong easterly wind out ahead of the system for days at a time, so that'll help produce potential heavy rains for eastern areas of the North Island. And with this ridge of high pressure to the southeast, we got a strong what we call pressure gradient. So that's going to add to potential for some gusty winds, and it's going to pump in that tropical moisture from the north and east here. Moving into Thursday, again, this American model, the GFS, puts the low right over New Zealand. And there will be a large area that will be potentially seeing rain across the North Island and the top of the South as well, and even eastern areas of the South Island likely to see some rain. Then we'll really have to watch Friday and the weekend. We'll get a southwesterly flow, but it still remains a bit unsettled because this low parks off to the southeast of New Zealand, and this ridge of high pressure parks off to the west. It's sitting off to the west there. And with these two sort of spinning, not moving much, sort of a blocking pattern, if you will, you can see another ridge of high pressure. Let me move out the way. I want to show you another ridge of high pressure just here to the east. So it's sort of a blocked pattern, and that's going to force this low to sort of stick around here for a couple of days, potentially bringing more unsettled weather to New Zealand. Now, with it being as far away as it is on the model here, likely that we're not going to see a lot of heavy rain out of this, but cool southwesterly flow, occasionally some showers moving out of this system from the south and west. Now, I'm going to show you another global model. Again, this model is the unified model that we use here at Earth Sciences New Zealand in conjunction with a variety of other partners, including the Bureau of Meteorology, the UK Metservice, and other organizations. And it has the same low, a similar situation. You can see the low developing up here in the Coral Sea, and you can see this low developing in the Tasman. Again, this is today, Monday, when we've recorded this video. We'll move into Tuesday morning. You can see strong easterly wind flow bringing some heavy rain at times to Northland, and our tropical low continues to develop here. And again, Bureau of Meteorology has about a 50% chance, 20 to 50% chance of this system turning into a tropical cyclone sometime Monday afternoon into Tuesday. And then as it moves to the south and east, it loses some of its tropical characteristics, still with the tropical moisture, but with the characteristics changing to more of what we call mid-latitude cyclone. It's going to be more of a hybrid system or ex-tropical or in nature. Either way, it doesn't matter. The big impact is heavy rain for the top of the North Island, and other areas of the North Island may also see some heavier rain in the days to come. I'm going to show you those rain totals shortly. Here is Thursday early morning, the XTC or strong area of low pressure. Again, impacts going to be the same whether it becomes a tropical cyclone or not. Pretty much moving into New Zealand at this point. So, again, this is the day. Thursday's the day with the biggest impacts in the far north and down through Auckland, Bay of Plenty. And then late Thursday into Friday, biggest impacts for the east of the North Island, the lower north, and the top of the south, especially out towards the Able Tasman area. But even as far south as Southland, there will be rain associated with this. Not likely to be a strong, severe system at that point for the bottom of the South Island, the lower south, but certainly the top of the south from Canterbury all the way up into the east coast of the North Island. Late Thursday into Friday, we'll be keeping an eye on this system. You can see there is some rain being driven back into the South Island here on the unified model, or what we like to call the UK Met model, on Friday. And again, just like the American model, just like the GFS model, the areas of low pressure sits to the east of New Zealand on Saturday. And you can see with this ridge here, this is high pressure over the Tasman. Low, very close to New Zealand. We stay unsettled. Potential for some gale winds, potentially severe throughout this entire event, right on through Saturday, and the potential for some heavy rain as well. The pattern, again, remains blocked. Okay. I want to show you what we call the spaghetti plots. Essentially, it's the TC track from a variety of models. And you could see the low would start here and move south and east. So let's go to the beginning of the timeline, and you can see that area of low pressure here developing and potentially moving just south and west of New Caledonia, and then moving towards New Zealand late Wednesday. The earliest models have it getting in here a Wednesday late afternoon, and then right on through the Thursday time period. So again, by the time it gets to New Zealand, it's very unlikely to be a tropical cyclone, if it even becomes one. But extra tropical or formerly tropical systems, they become hybrid systems. They gain characteristics that you see more typical of lows that we see over New Zealand. Doesn't matter because the impacts are the same. Heavy rain, severe winds, potential gale, potentially some thunderstorms. Can't even rule out some isolated tornadoes with a system like this. Again, official weather information for the TC or XTC will come from our friends at the Metservice, but we're giving you an idea of what to expect later this week, late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where the biggest impacts will be for Aotearoa, New Zealand. So that's the TC tracks. I'm going down a list here. I've got my own paper list here just to show you. I wanted to show you guys things sort of in a sequential order that sort of makes sense to tell this a weather story. And I want to show you the NZCSM. This is our high-resolution model. What's interesting about this model, it only goes out until Tuesday night, but it does show the potential for that heavy rain in the north of the North Island, the far north, later in this afternoon when I've recorded this video through the evening here. So the low would be here. This is not the TC. This is another area of low pressure that's developing in the Tasman, and you can see that strong easterly flow potentially bringing that heavy rain to the north of North Island, specifically the eastern areas where we unfortunately saw some heavy rain just the other day. So we're watching areas from Cape Reinga all the way down through the Bay of Islands and as far south as perhaps Whangarei, and perhaps even as far south as Warkworth in the Auckland region. We'll also have to keep an eye on Great Barrier Island and Coromandel as well for potential heavier rain. Sometimes the modeling, it's just not great. And so even though it doesn't show much rain by Tuesday morning, there's a potential that there could still be some lingering heavy falls through those regions of the North Island. It all depends on how that low develops, which it's still in the process of doing according to the latest data that I've been looking at. So again, that is the NZCSM, only goes out to late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Our other high-resolution modeling that goes a little bit farther, this is this model here, the LAM, showing that same potential for heavy rain in the east of the North Island through this afternoon tonight, and it does linger some rain into Tuesday as well, and it has more showery weather, but again, the potential for some of this could be on the heavy side, could lead to flooding, slips, and other issues. So again, this is the time where you want to know your plan, have an escape route if you live in a flood-prone area. Just know where you need to go and follow a local emergency council and emergency organizations. They'll tell you when they're what to do in case there is some sort of flooding or some kind of dire situation that causes widespread problems in your region, Northland region, Auckland region, and the Waikato region. This is Wednesday, and you can see we're starting to get that tropical cyclone or XTC to move southward into New Zealand. You can see heavy rain already moving in by Wednesday afternoon, according to this model. This model does end late on Wednesday night, and it has the low very close to the top of the North Island by the time we get to Wednesday night. So, again, a lot to watch here. The rain heavy at times, and the winds, which I haven't really touched on, going to be quite strong. Potential gale winds across parts of New Zealand from time to time. Let me do a better job of showing you on the map here what some of the winds could potentially look like. And again, this is Tuesday. You can see gusts 60, 70. And then Wednesday, the winds get stronger, gusts upwards of 80, 90, according to this particular model. Again, kilometers per hour, east-northeasterlies as that area of low pressure, that potential tropical cyclone or area of low pressure moves into New Zealand. Okay. I want to go back to the NZ LAM. I just want to show you all the forecast rain totals from the modeling. Again, this is just through Tuesday afternoon, evening. And you can see there are a few locations in the top of the North Island. I'll move in a little bit closer so you can get a better look at it. This is out towards Kerikeri, north of Whangarei, right along the eastern-facing slopes of the ranges there, the eastern areas. That's where the potential heaviest rain could potentially be, 100, 150 mils between Monday afternoon and Tuesday night. Showing you Great Barrier Island. We've got Whitianga and other parts of the Coromandel. This model not having as high a total, Auckland not seeing much. But the idea is that even though the modeling is low, there are some indications that there could be some heavier rain. So we don't want you to be caught off guard. Just be mindful of the potential for some heavy rainfall late Monday night into Tuesday, showing up on some of our modeling. And you can see also strong easterly winds, wind flow with this. Again, will bring the potential for a gale. Not likely to be severe, but it's not a zero chance, and that's something we'll be watching throughout your Monday and Tuesday as well. Okay, going back down my list, I want to show you the NZ LAM one more time to show you the rain totals from the modeling there. My apologies here. And some of the rain amounts here are in the on the order of 10, 20, 30 mils per hour. As that tropical cyclone approaches or XTC approaches late Wednesday night into Thursday. These are quite high rain total amounts. This is indicative of 20, 30 millimeters in an hour. That would cause flooding. That would cause slips. People are likely to get stranded, water rescues, the like. So just trying to understand the impacts, whether it's a TC or not, it's something that we certainly need to keep an eye on. I'm going to go down. One more thing I want to show you on the list here is the New Zealand Ensemble, which is where we run a model, and we have different members of the model. We essentially tweak the physics a little bit, and we run it out several times all at once. And it gives you a percentage of what the rain and thunderstorms and potential snow would be like if we were in a snow situation. I'm showing you the accumulated rain here on our New Zealand Ensemble. And this is through Friday, okay? There's a lot of rain here. And note that this is not a high-resolution model, so it doesn't get all the details correct, but it gives you an idea of what to expect. So it's putting down nearly 200 millimeters of rain in parts of Northland. And this is going to come down very quickly in a matter of 3 or 4 days. It's not good news, right? So, again, it is very important that you are weather aware. Be aware of the weather situation developing here, especially in that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time period. And for those who aren't paying attention to the weather, good idea to tell the family, friends, the neighbors to be ready. Coromandel, also an area that needs to be watched. And the Western Bay of Plenty potentially could see some heavy rainfall. Now, a lot of the numbers you're seeing here on the map here, that 100 to 200 millimeter range, a lot of that is in the ranges, but some of that could be at some of the lower elevations down towards the foothills. In addition to that, There will be runoff. So the area rivers are likely to rise. The rivers and streams and creeks, they're likely to rise. So just be mindful of the potential for flooding. This means some areas could be cut off for multiple hours, maybe even multiple days from the rest of the North Island, the rest of your respective regions. So again, Northland, perhaps Auckland, Coromandel, and the Western Bay of Plenty, and then also the ranges of Gisborne. A lot of heavy rain expected there as well. And again, that could create some flooding situations in some of the lower elevations, certainly watching those east-facing foothills as the system moves through. Again, this model ends late Friday night into Saturday morning. So this includes all the way through Friday, the potential for heavy rain. I want to show you the wind because we do have that potential for some strong winds. This is the potential for gusts 100 kilometers or stronger. Monday, not too concerning, primarily in the ranges. Tuesday, easterly winds, not likely to see that. But Wednesday, you're starting to see that area north and west of Northland. That would be with that associated area of low pressure. And then here you are on Thursday. The strongest winds are likely to be that day, east to northeasterly winds across the North Island and even into parts of the South Island. You can see some of that stretching as far south as Kaikoura and perhaps even Christchurch and Aotearoa. The idea is that potential severe gales, easterly winds with that approaching XTC and or low area of low pressure moving across New Zealand. And then Friday, similar situation. You could see there's a high chance that we'll see gusts exceeding 100 kilometers per hour in these areas showing in orange here. So wind, rain, the flood threat, power disruptions, power may get cut in some locations. It's not the best day to be outside. If you know someone who's planning to do some tramping, camping, one of the Great Walks, Tongariro Crossing, probably not ideal weather in that Thursday, Friday time period. It may even linger into parts of Saturday as well. And this is a lot of the North Island, but also the top of the South Island as far south as North Canterbury as well. So again, that's wind. I did want to show you lightning. Again, there is some potential for thunderstorms, but not terribly widespread. Here's Wednesday, and you can see some yellow showing up mostly offshore. And then Thursday, there's a little bit of yellow there at the top of the south as the tropical cyclone or XTC or low pressure moves across the country. And looks like some is starting to show up as well in central New Zealand, primarily Abel Tasman, the Tasman district west of Motueka and Nelson. And then Friday, a similar story, top of the north and potential areas at the top of the south. And I do want to show you the 24-hour rainfall totals. Again, this is from our New Zealand ensemble. Not expecting a lot here on Monday, but the ensemble does have higher amounts on Tuesday. And again, I think this could also potentially be underdone if we do end up getting that low to really flare up west of the North Island. If it really invigorates and just gets stronger, there's a potential that these numbers could be on the way low side, the top of the North Island, for total rain on late Monday night into Tuesday. Some locations, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, could top 100 millimeters. Again, not good news for areas that's already seen some heavy rainfall. Okay, let's go into Wednesday. Higher amounts there, again, the top of the north. And then Thursday is when we start to see some really big numbers here. And again, I think some of this is underdone. Some of this may be on the low side from this particular ensemble. This is our what we call the ensemble average. It doesn't show the actual individual members of the ensemble. One member, for example, may say 150 millimeters, and another member may say for the same location, same amount of time, different amount of rain, may say 50 millimeters. But the idea is you get a percentage. You could say, okay, this amount of the members are showing this number. We have high confidence that we're going to see 50 millimeters of rain, 100 millimeters of rain. So again, that's how we forecast using the New Zealand ensemble, along with a variety of other data, global models and high-resolution models. And, of course, Metservice, they have their high-resolution models as well. Back to the story. Again, 50, 100 millimeters, easily could exceed 100 millimeters in parts of Northland, parts of the Coromandel Western Bay of Plenty. And then even into the South Island, you're seeing we're starting to get some higher numbers to tick up there. And, again, on Friday, again, a lot of heavy rain still potential for the top of the north, but also some in the top of the south. Again, I'm most concerned, and I think a lot of the forecasts will support this, most concerned with the Nelson region and the Tasman district, primarily the Abel Tasman National Park, that area there, but anywhere where there's a ridge and there's wind blowing that moisture up, what happens? The moisture blows in, lifts up over the mountains. It condenses, the water condenses. And when it condenses, it just falls out as rain and can be heavy at times. It's a forcing mechanism. You lift up that moisture, you saturate that air. It's already humid, it's already moist, so it doesn't take much. And then you just wring it out like a sponge or a towel, and it just pours down. It can pour down, and it can exceed what our models can predict sometimes. So again, we need to watch a lot of the North Island and the top of the South Island Thursday, Friday, and even potentially into Saturday as that rain moves through. Okay, last thing I want to show you guys, and then we'll leave you at that, and we'll have another update. Guarantee you we'll be back later this week, potentially as soon as Tuesday on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever we're posting this video. But I want to show you the five-day rain forecast, and it's the different percentiles. So 90th percentile is the heavy rain scenario, and 10th percentile is the drier scenario, dry being relative. Okay, so this is a rain total over the next 5 days from the New Zealand ensemble, okay? And as you can see here, some of these numbers up here in the heavy rain, I'll move out of the way, the heavy rain scenario exceeding 200 millimeters across the North Island in total between Monday, when I recorded this video, and this is into Friday morning. So upwards of 200 millimeters in the wet scenario. And even in the 50th percentile, the middle scenario, there's still numbers here exceeding 200, primarily in the ranges of Northland. But again, this could have a knock-on or runoff effect. So again, if you're watching us from Russell, Kerry, Whangarei, Kaitai, anywhere up north, this is the time to prepare for the potential heavy rain this week. Potential tonight into Tuesday, and then an even bigger potential for that Thursday, Friday time period. And then same story in the Coromandel. We've had so much historic flooding. We just got a lot of the damage repair for the last big floods there. So this is not the story we want here, but we want you to be prepared so you know. Not hyping it up, just being prepared. Worst case scenario, couple hundred millimeters. Best case scenario, 50 to 100 mils on that left scenario there. And then we'll be watching as well, potentially the ranges and foothills, Hawke's Bay, Gisborne. Looks like the Aotearoa is showing a bit of a signal as well. This is all on the North Island. Again, this is a 5-day rain total. I'm going to go to the South Island, and I'm going to show you the same thing, okay? And again, this is the 5-day rain total, South Island. You can see the biggest signal, again, north and west of Motueka, and perhaps parts of the Marlborough region, primarily in the ranges where there aren't many people, but just be mindful and be ready for it. The good news is it is beneficial rains for the rest of the South Island, where it is starting to get a little dry, where it has been dry in parts of Canterbury and Otago. Hopefully some of that rain extends farther south. But again, the top of the South Island, we'll be keeping an eye for potential heavy rain as well. So I think I've talked enough. Essentially, what we've come down to is we have a potential for an ex-tropical cyclone to move into New Zealand later this week. That would be this system showing up here on our modeling here on your screen. There's potential for some heavy rain in Northland again Tuesday because of an area that is an area of low pressure that's not directly related to the potential TC, but is developing off the coast in the Tasman. And then later in the week, in this Wednesday, Thursday time period, I'm going to go back to the global model so you can kind of see what that looks like. In that Wednesday, Thursday time period, this low drops down, potentially is an XTC. Either way, it's a low. It's an area of low pressure. It's strong. It's got a strong pressure gradient. It's going to have a strong wind gradient as well. Has a potential for heavy rain and gusty winds with numerous impacts across New Zealand for the late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday time period this week here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Okay, I'm Chester Lampkin for Earth Sciences New Zealand. Thanks for joining us for the video, and we will see you back here online and throughout the week. Again, watch the Metservice for the official watches and warnings. They are tracking this. They have numerous forecasters looking at this, and we'll be watching and keeping an eye on it too. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to comment, and we'll respond as best we can here on YouTube and Facebook. Cheers.